Trundlebed Tales. Today we are going to be doing a very special unboxing because it's actually stuff I already own. When I first started presenting on Laura, I used to bring boxes and boxes of stuff, basically the majority of my collection with me when I went to speak. But that's really not a good idea. It's too much and it's a pain and people don't want to look at it anyway. I do have a slightly bigger display in a suitcase on wheels that I take now. But sometimes when there isn't space, or if I'm going to be talking to kids only, I like to bring along some stuff to show them. And I had been using this not so attractive plastic bag as the liner for my bushel basket, so I decided to change it out and I got some burlap. So I thought while I was changing it over, I would go ahead and show you everything that I bring along. And the first thing is the bushel basket itself. A lot of times there are saying measurements in Laura's books that aren't things that people are used to today. So this is a bushel basket and it holds a bushel. There's a couple different sizes. This one is a bushel. So when Pa says he got a couple bushels of flour, or they have a couple bushels of potatoes, this is what they're talking about, a couple of these. Next up, and I'm just going to go with the order they are on top of the pile. And what we have here is a tin punch lantern. Now this is a very small tin punch lantern. Most of mine are a lot bigger than this. I think every real one is bigger than this. This one actually, I'm not sure. I think maybe it was originally supposed to be a Christmas tree ornament because there's a little hole in the back like you're supposed to put a little bitty light bulb through. But I got it because it is, it would be working if you put a candle in there, and it's really how a tin punch lantern looks, and it's certainly a lot easier to carry around and to let people look at passing it than it would be to have a full-size one. So I actually got it when I was in Malone, New York. There is a store there. It's sort of the antique / craft store, and the El Manzo Museum has a stand in there. This wasn't on their stand, but it is worth a look around because other people are selling pretty cool things too. That was some years ago. I don't know that they're running them or selling them still, but I think this one is awful darling. Next up, some maple sugar. I got this lovely little container of it. I leave it all sealed up so that people can't get into it. Laura talks about how they make maple syrup and maple sugar, and that they make different grades of it, and that this is what they use for sugar most of the time. And you can see this is a very light maple sugar, so it's pretty finely refined because it's this light color. There is, if you're interested in maple sugar and how that gets made, I did a great podcast on that, and I will put that in the below in the show notes, the link to it. Now, probably the first thing everybody gets when they're, or at least a lot of people get when they're collecting Laura stuff, is a bonnet. Now this again is a very small bonnet. I don't know if it's quite baby size, but I wanted one that I could again have it be fairly small, not take up a lot of room, be easy to pass around. This is out of a calico material. It's definitely modern, and if you actually look inside at the construction, it's fairly modern too, but it does definitely give you the idea of what a bonnet would look for, especially if you did not look on the inside. And that's going to move me over to my covered wagon. Now, the one that I actually use in my main display is the one that my grandpa Utah made for me when I was a little girl, and it was not nearly as detailed as this, but I have a very warm place in my heart for it, and I really do think gives you an idea of kind of the homemadeness of it. This is actually one that I got at Hobby Lobby because they have a nice little horse and western section, and they were selling these, well, they were selling them out actually, so I got a really good deal on it. It unfortunately is not really designed to be sturdy when passed around, but I think it does a nice job of giving, you know, sort of an idea of what it was like. And if it gets destroyed, I will be sorry, but it won't be out much. Last year, we went to the Homestead National Monument, which was the national park at the very first very first site that had been filed for homestead in Beatrice, Nebraska. And I got this there because I am a sucker for fake parchment documents. Unfortunately, I may even end up having to do this again. That I took it to Staples to get it laminated, and they not only put this nasty little fold in it, it's, as I look at it now, it's coming apart, which is not good at all. But for now at least, we've got the Homestead Act. This is the law that they passed that allowed people like the Ingalls family to homestead. This is a version of Susan. There are many different interpretations of Laura's corncob doll, but it basically is a corncob wrapped in a handkerchief. A lot of them, they try and make a lot more colorful and do different patterns for the material, which I don't know, maybe it was one of Pa's and it was printed. I usually assume it's a white one. And a lot of the ones that they sell in stores will have a little string around them. I think this one I actually made at the Ingalls Homestead, but I might not be right about that. But they do have a hands-on activity there where you can make one. I did not put that over on the pretty thing like I should have, but anyway, there it is. This is another small thing that I got to represent something bigger. This is just a doll's hat, but it is braided out of, I'm not sure if this is wheat or straw or what, but I'm not sure what exactly they used to make this, but it is a plant material that they have braided and used to make a little hat, like they talk about in Little House in the Big Woods. This is one of my coffee grinders. I actually have enough of them now that I don't have to tote different ones out of different sets when I do programs. So this is its very own, this set coffee grinder. It has a sort of container up here. You pour the wheat into it and turn the handle, and the flour comes out down below. This one, if you're looking for one to hand around, it would be a good idea to have something that would hold the little drawer in a little bit better, because I do have some spills with this one. This is actually, it's kind of split here, but it's got an adjuster. This was a pretty nice one back in the day, and I got this one actually from a Weir's auctioneering sale. So Weir's are a great local firm, and if you're looking for somebody to do an auction in Iowa, I highly recommend them. Then I got talking about the seat covers that they take in the train when they're going from Walnut Grove to Tracy, and I realized there's probably a lot of kids who do not know what velvet is, so I had my mom make me a nice little velvet pillow, and it has a button in it to show how they were upholstered. I have a nice wooden apple that I have for their apples that they grew in Mansfield. A china doorknob. This is just a one. There would have to be another one on the other side, but this is again small, easy to take around. The white china ones were more expensive than the brown china ones. I do not know which color Laura had. This is a container that my cousin gave me because we pretend that it is a container to drop syrup in, sap in when we're making maple syrup. And I've got a tin cup. Most of the home sites now have tin cups. You can also get tin cups from settler stores. You can get them from tinsmiths. And this particular one is, this was from one of the home sites, but honestly I don't remember which one. I have lots of tin cups. Let's see. I've got a Charlotte doll who I tried to clean her face, and it was a bad idea. It kind of made the ink smear more. But this is one of the design that the DeSmet Memorial Society uses, and they've been using that design for a long time. This is actually out of socks, like a sock monkey, and stuffed, and they put these lovely little labels on them, so you can always tell if it's a DeSmet Charlotte doll because it will say, or a Memorial Society one anyway. I have an autograph album. This is not anybody's in particular. I have a couple family ones. In fact, I use one in one of my programs, but for the most part, this is just one that I got offline. I love autograph albums, and I think it's nice to see what Laura was talking about. We're getting towards the end. I have a I have a hay twist. This is one that I got at the Memorial Society in DeSmet. They used to sell them all the time. They don't really sell them much anymore. I think some of the people who used to make them for them have retired. But I think it's really cool to say it hay twist. I personally have a terrible time with it. I think it actually, they got the idea from how you process wool. There's a step in there where you make exactly this, only out of wool. And I saw that at Watkins Mill down in Kansas City, where I want to get back. I have a Replica 50/50 notebook. Now, they used to sell these at Hoover and at the Laura Ingalls Wilder Memorial Society. They really haven't been doing that much lately. There is still a small supply that you can get. I love these because this is, of course, the unique one notebook cover that Laura used when she was writing the books. And it's for the Springfield Grocery Company. I've got from one of Laura's letters, her gingerbread recipe in her own handwriting. Be sure to watch the molasses amounts. I could talk about that, but that would be a whole video itself. I've got a couple of copies of books, and that's it. So thank you for your patience as we did a long unboxing today. I hope you enjoyed seeing what kind of my supplies are, and that we will see you again here in Trundlebed Tales, and you will brighten the corner where you are.